Good
All
idea.
right, we're going on a trip.
Yes, so excited.
It is that time of year, isn't it? It's a great
Yeah.
time. People, road trips and airplane trips and going to Europe and
Boat trips.
boat trips. I mean,
Train trips,
yeah.
bus trips.
This is when people like to get
Camp.
out and about. Natural travel tips. It's Hunt for Wellness, episode number 105. Welcome to Hunt for Wellness. I'm John Hunt.
And I'm Kristi Hunt.
And this is the show where we help you live your best life, mind, body, and spirit. This episode of Hunt for Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. Great machines that provide great water for your great wellness. Go check it out right now at www.waterdistillers.com.
We'll check it out after the show.
Well, yeah, check it out after the show.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like to... what's that? Multitask.
Yeah, but then you can't pay attention really very well.
Well, and maybe like if
So
you're
do it after the
maybe
show.
if you're on a trip right now and you're not driving, maybe you're on a road trip. You could look it up, but you also we don't want to send you away from the podcast.
Yeah. So
okay,
just listen, and then you can go check it
we'll
out.
mention that again at the end of the
remind
program.
them at the end.
Yeah,
so they
and so
won't
you
forget.
will not forget.
Yes, good
All
idea.
right, we're going on a trip.
Yes, so excited.
It is that time of year, isn't it? It's a great
Yeah.
time. People, road trips and airplane trips and going to Europe and
boat trips.
boat trips. I mean,
Train trips,
yeah.
bus trips.
This is when people like to get
Camp.
out and about. Yeah. So, but we have some tips for you for a natural way to do some of those things, or at least to help you along your journey.
Yes, because we don't want to have problems. So let's try to avoid the problems as much as we can. We'll give you tips for that, for avoiding the problems. And then also, you might have a few problems just because life isn't perfect.
That's right.
And so we're going to give you some tips for that in case you have some problems.
Yeah. And if you go into nature, some people might have thought this was like, we're going to give them like a nature trip.
Oh.
Natural. Maybe not. But even if you're on a nature trip, we'll have tips for you.
Yeah. That's a great trip to go on a nature trip.
Because everything we're going to talk about today is natural, right?
That's right. It comes from nature.
That's right.
So.
All right. Where does the trip begin?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, when you go on a trip, be flexible.
Yep.
Because often the unexpected arises and it can make you not so happy.
Is that like when your kids are trying to decide, I want to eat here, I want to eat here, I want to eat here, and
it could be that.
They need to be flexible.
Could be a flat tire. Remember when we had that?
Yes, I do. That's going to be in my memory a long time.
Yeah.
Literally out in the middle of nowhere, and an angel came.
Well, it wasn't an angel.
Yeah,
but
I think it was. Because there was no car in sight anywhere, and all of a sudden, we prayed, we pulled over to the side of the road, and all of a sudden in my rearview mirror, there's a pickup truck pulling up behind me. Where did he come from?
It was great, and he was a mechanic.
Yeah, and he just so happened to be a mechanic, and he just changed the tire for us.
I know, he was so nice.
Wow, that was incredible. All right, that's another one for our angel show.
Do you remember when we were on that camping trip with our friends? And
we've been on many camping trips with
I know,
friends.
but the neighboring campers played that album.
Hotel California? You mean over and over? And this was, to date this a little bit, this was back when there was 8-track tapes. And on an 8-track tape, and you put that thing in, it would just keep playing over and over and over.
Like
literally
all night.
I think they owned one 8-track tape, and they played it all night. And we're talking like from 7 at night until probably 5 in the morning.
Well, I think we really noticed it when we were trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
for many hours trying to go to sleep.
We didn't sleep very good.
Yeah.
And we were really annoyed.
Yes.
And so were our friends.
Yep.
But that memory and a few others we laugh about to this day.
All the time. Yeah.
And so
With
that
those
bad
friends as
memory or that bad experience became a funny memory.
Yeah.
So you never know when you're on these trips, these experiences that you have might become like some of the best memories that you laugh about and have so much fun about.
You know what's funny about that trip? Because we had several of us and we had several tents. And we're in our tent wondering, I wonder if the guys in the other tent are still awake and can hear all this.
Yeah.
But it was pretty loud. So later we all compared notes and yes, nobody slept.
Yeah. And then those people had to leave the campground.
So tip number 1, bring earplugs when you go camping.
And now you might have a harrowing experience on your trip.
You could.
Which is scary. Like, remember when we were in South Africa and we had to drive on the left side of the road and the road was super narrow and our GPS was only speaking German?
Yeah, and I, of course, thought I had high school German and I could understand it. And but I don't know if it really mattered because there were like no road signs and people were like going 100 miles an hour. There's no...
And you had to drive on the left side of the road.
Yeah.
And in the car, you're driving on the right side in the car.
Yeah.
So like everything was reversed.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It was
And people
scary.
were like passing on the shoulder and just...
And the lanes were like so
super narrow, like those narrow parking lots where you go in and you wonder, I wonder if that car is going to ding me or not. They're that tight.
Yeah. So anyways, that...
Yes, I remember that. So, what's your tip for that one? I can't wait to hear that.
Okay, the tip for that one is stress away.
Yes.
Stress away or peace and calming or tranquil.
You didn't mention that it was you and the 4 kids all at one time screaming at me.
Not exactly.
Yeah, like,
I think
watch out,
you don't
look
remember
out.
it quite right.
Yeah, all I can remember, it was very stressful. Yes, would have been nice to have stress away.
It was stressful.
Yes.
Yep. So today I'm going to focus on the roll-on.
Yes.
Roll-ons, just because they're really easy to use.
Portable.
And yes, and travel with and put on and share with someone else in case they need stress away or something else.
Sounds good.
So not everything is going to be a roll-on, but that's kind of the focus because it's easy.
And most of the essential oil bottles, you get the little ones, you can put a roller top right on them and make them a roller.
Exactly.
Some of the products come as a roll-on.
Exactly.
Others you can make your own, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Or you can pour it into another bottle that's a roll-on bottle.
Yeah, and kind of maybe dilute it with another little...
some carrier oil. Yeah, and any new customer that we have that spends over 100 PV, we send them a box of goodies, including roller bottles to make their own.
Ooh, roller bottles are fun too.
They are, with lots of ideas and recipes and things like that. So.
Awesome.
Okay, let's talk about going to the mountains.
Ooh.
Isn't that fun?
That's fun too, yeah.
I know, like Colorado.
South Africa, though, was really fun.
It was. They had mountains there, too.
They did.
So we've gone to the mountains and felt kind of sick due to the altitude.
Get up there, there ain't no air at the top of the hill.
Hard for us, like lowlanders, to breathe as good.
Oh, my goodness.
So peppermint is a really good use for that. Now, that's not in a roller, but you could make it into a roller if you wanted to. So altitude... Use peppermint and just use it frequently. Just rub it on your chest.
Yep.
And just put it on your hands, breathe it in, cup your hands over your face and mouth, and then breathe in deeply. And that's so great. And I can remember feeling that altitude sickness when I was a teen going to Colorado for a ski trip.
Yeah.
And wish I would have had the peppermint back then. But I know the peppermint works because I've used it.
Yes.
Another thing for peppermint, and that could include in the mountains, is driving.
Yeah.
So some people are bothered by driving.
They get all the switchbacks every 2 seconds. You go back and forth and weave and
or like up and down.
Or you're looking right to your left and there's a cliff there.
Yeah, that can be kind of scary.
And then you're worried about your brakes.
Then you need the stress away.
Yes.
Or the tranquil or peace and calming.
Yeah.
But peppermint is also good for that motion.
Yes.
Things that people get. They're kind of queasy.
We had one daughter in particular who always got a little car sick.
Yes. And so she did not like peppermint. So I'm like, oh no, now what do I do?
What do you do, right?
So I use Valor. So Valor is a great one. It's in a regular bottle or roller. And there's a Kids Power for kids.
Yes.
Well, I use it all the time.
We love it.
I'm a kid at heart.
I know, but it smells great.
It's Valor orange and vanilla. Yeah. So that you could use that too. for the kids or the adults, whoever.
Yep.
And it could be boating too. I've been on boating where it felt like, ooh, seasick. Mm-hmm. Oh, yuck. That's an awful feeling. We're going to go on a boat.
We are coming up. That's going to be fun.
Whale watching.
Ooh.
So we are going to be bringing Peppermint and Valor with us.
Yes. Not those little patches you put behind your
No.
ear. Oh
my goodness. A friend of mine told me about this patch that she used, and she started hallucinating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she's like, don't use them.
Yeah.
So we're not going to use them.
Nope. Just look at the horizon.
You could... or flying, and peppermint is so good for flying too. Mm-hmm. Like for your ears popping, same with when you're driving in the mountains and your ears are popping due to the changes in pressure. Peppermint is so great. Mm-hmm. And I have also had the experience of not have my ears pop and it hurts really bad.
Yeah.
So use the peppermint, breathe it in. That totally helps.
It's such a universal oil.
Yeah. Can be used for so many things.
Yeah, it really is.
And if your gut is just not happy due to different food or whatever, peppermint is so great for that.
Yeah.
So you can put a drop in a glass of water or stainless steel, not plastic, because it eats the plastic.
And we just say one drop.
One drop
not two.
Nope. One drop is all you need. And then drink the water. Or you could take a drop and rub it, and that would be the vitality oil that you drink. Or you could put a drop on your hand, rub it on your stomach, and that's like soothing too.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Absolutely.
Also, that peppermint can be used for, let's say you decided to go mountain climbing and your legs and arms get sore.
Which they would if I went mountain climbing.
Yeah. I mean, we do work out, but we do not mountain climb.
You don't use some of those muscles that you use for mountain climbing for some reason. Boy,
right.
Oh.
So you can rub on that peppermint on sore muscles, and it feels really good. It really helps ease the discomfort.
Yep.
How about when, we did kind of talk about people not getting along.
Yep.
Or yelling at each other because they're scared or... So Stress Away, Peace and Calming, Tranquil, those are roll-ons. Some other non-roll-ons are Palo Santo. That breaks up negative energy.
Yeah.
That's a really nice one to literally carry with you wherever you go.
It's got a nice fragrance too.
It does. It does. Or White Angelica. If you're going to have a stressful situation, maybe you're on a work trip.
Yep.
And it's challenging. Challenging people to deal with, situations. White Angelica is a great oil to protect you from negative energy from other people. And so, I did have a friend who she went on a long car trip with several family members. And she was not super excited about being in close quarters of the car. Yeah. That whole time. So what she did was she gave everybody a roll-on. She gave them, I don't think she gave everybody the same thing. She had Stress Away, Peace and Calming, and Tranquil. So she asked them, if I give you this, will you use it? And they said yes. So she told them, like when they get in the car, everybody roll on, roll on your oil. Yeah. And then she did it like every couple of hours, and she said it was amazing.
That's so good.
And if things started to get a little heated, everybody roll on and calm down. So you can do that with your kids if you're on a kid trip.
Kids kind of like those roll-ons too.
Well, and they smell so good.
Yeah.
So it is a great idea for getting along well.
Yes, and we can attest to that.
Yeah, and if you have somebody that you are on a trip with or anywhere, and it's not going too good for them, they're upset, annoyed, irritated, I will pull out my oils and I'll put some on me and I'll say, this smells so good. Do you want to smell this? So that they're getting the oil. They don't really know that they're getting an oil, and it's helping them calm down, relax, de-stress. So that's one thing that I do.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Oh, you don't want to get sick when you're traveling.
No, it's never any fun.
No, because you want to be awake and feel good.
Have a good time. Yes.
You keep breathing and not be all stuffed up. So A probiotic, our Life9 Probiotic, is so good to take. Or the kids' version is MightyPro, which is like a pixie stick.
And some other older kids take them too.
Yeah, I love it.
You treat that like it's candy, I think.
It does taste like candy. It's stevia sweetened, though, so it's not candy.
Oh, great.
And it's got probiotics. So probiotics really help your immune system be strong. It helps the gut have the normal bacteria in it so it can fight diseases and bacteria, viruses, all, just help your body do what it's supposed to do, because most of your immune system is in your gut. So if you keep your gut strong and healthy, that helps you stay healthy. And a friend of mine was telling me about her daughter went to some country that was very different, like maybe Ecuador or, on a mission trip. And there's 30 girls. And she made her daughter promise her that she would take the probiotic every single day. And so she did. She was the only kid that didn't get sick.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? That's fantastic. So probiotics are really important to keep yourself well. And then Thieves. Using that Thieves Essential Oil, there's a Thieves roll-on. And you can just roll that on every day. That also supports your immune system to stay strong. It can also be used if you're starting to feel not so good.
Right.
And then NingXia Red.
Can't have anything without NingXia Red, right?
I love NingXia Red.
It is good. Another great thing. I think for traveling, though, the big bottles of it are kind of hard to carry, but the packets
are so good, yeah.
Yeah, the little 2-ounce, and they don't need to be refrigerated, and so those are great to take on a trip.
Yes, and you don't have to refrigerate them. Ideally, they taste best, I think, refrigerated. But they help your body. They just support your body's immune system, overall wellness, super high antioxidant. And when you're traveling, you're out of your home, you're out of your normal food that you eat, your normal environment. Even though it can be fun, it is a little stressful to the body.
Yes.
So drink the NingXia Red every single day on the trip. That's really important, and we always do that.
Yep.
And then, just in case somebody gets a sore throat or cough, take along the Thieves cough drops. So I sent my daughter to camp a few years ago, and I packed her NingXia, I packed her oils, like the ones we've been talking about, plus the Thieves cough drops. And she ended up getting a cold about halfway through the trip. And she's like, "Oh, Mom, I was so happy you had those cough drops in there. Just totally helped me make it through."
Right. They're so handy.
Yeah, and they're super tiny. It doesn't take much space.
Portable, yep. Just
throw some in your bag, because if you need them, they're so helpful. And you only need, I don't know, if you wanted one all day long, maybe 4 or 5. It's not like regular cough drops where you need 30.
Yeah. I think if people went over to Hunt4Wellness.com and went to this episode, page 105, and just looked at the show notes, you're going to just see a nice little list of things that you want to consider. Maybe pack yourself a little travel bag in advance so it's always ready to go.
Yeah.
Kind of like your on-the-go oil kit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Very good. How about jet lag?
People get jet lag.
Have you ever had jet lag?
I've had jet lag, yes. It's no fun to deal with.
So jet lag disrupts your normal sleeping patterns if you're not aware of what it is, because your body's internal clock has to adjust rapidly to a change in daylight and nighttime hours when you're flying to a different part of the world. If you're driving, it's usually not a problem because you're going slow enough, but you're traveling through different time zones, and you go to Europe, it's 7 or 8 hours difference.
Yeah.
So it can cause just trouble sleeping during sleeping hours. You might wake up in the middle of the night and be super wide awake.
Yes.
Which you don't want to be.
No.
So some of the oils that are going to help you, and you can just pick a few, 1 or 2. Eucalyptus is really good, or Valor, which we already have the Valor roll-on. We talked about peppermint. A couple others. These are not roll-ons, but you could make them into if you wanted to. Brain Power helps. It is in your brain that is this time clock.
Wow.
Energy, because you're
going to need some.
You do, yeah. And listen to this one, Present Time.
It fixes the clock.
Right.
Wow. Present time. Okay.
So also when you're just dealing with that jet lag, you want to drink a lot of fluids, avoid caffeine, avoid alcohol, and then aim to stay awake when you get to your new destination until it's sleeping time.
There.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not your old sleeping time.
Yeah. And sometimes it's good if you can plan your itinerary so that you get there and maybe you only have to stay up a few hours or, depending on which direction you're going.
Right.
So that you can adjust.
Yes. And, just some oils to help you sleep is lavender. If you're, this is sleeping whether you have jet lag or not. Lavender, using one of those sleep masks to block out the light because often there's a lot of light in maybe hotel rooms.
Yep.
Peace and calming, Tranquil, RutaVala, which is rue, Valorant, and lavender. So those are that's really helpful for sleeping or stress away. So all those are excellent resources.
We also have, if you go over to Hunt4Wellness.com and check out our podcast episode on getting a good night's sleep. I can't remember, that's not the exact name of it, but it's...
if you search sleep.
if you search sleep on there, you'll find it, and it's just a natural thing. And then we also have the sleep study, where if you're having trouble sleeping, take some of those suggestions.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, if, again, we already talked about food, digestive issues, peppermint, and then I really like to take DiGize.
Yes,
you do. Especially if you're in an area that is very different food.
And you're not going to have your home cooking where you know what's in it.
Right. But, maybe you're going to a different part of the world.
Yeah.
It's also the other kind of bacteria in that area of the country that can throw your body off. It's not just the food or just a different kind of food, but it's stuff your body's not used to. So DiGize is a really helpful one for digestion. Okay. We talked about sore muscles. What if you go hiking and you twist your ankle?
We don't want to do that.
No. So there is Deep Relief, that Deep Relief roll-on.
Oh, it's a great roll-on. Come in handy many times.
Yeah, can go on. I literally have seen someone who had a sore ankle that they were having a hard time walking on, rolled on Deep Relief, and literally could walk.
Got good relief.
Yeah, they did.
Nice.
So that is a great one to bring along because, again, if you have a problem, you can use it. If you don't have a problem, it's not a problem.
Right.
And it can be used for like sore neck, sore muscles, all those kind of things. Okay. I think we covered every possible problem. Not really. That could happen.
Every possible problem. The trip is totally...
It's going to be perfect.
It's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I think, again, having a little kit, you may not need to use it.
Right. And it'd be great if you didn't have to.
But it's good when you have it.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, then you're not, then you're running around trying to figure out what to do.
I know.
So.
I know. And there is another roll-on Breathe Again, which is a respiratory support one, which is good too. That is an excellent one to take along.
Yeah.
I remember going on a trip. We woke up the first morning and here's my kid coughing like nuts.
Yeah.
And I didn't have oils back then. I wish I would have.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, well, looks like
now what do we do?
Changing plans and going to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
So,
just be prepared.
Yeah.
Just like you have a packing list, make a packing list for your emergency kit, your emergency oils kit.
Well, it's not really, it's just like prevention.
Yes. Awesome.
Prevention, yeah.
All right. Well, this episode of Hunt4Wellness is brought to you by waterdistillers.com. We told you we'd tell you again, and we are now. They provide great machines that give you great water for your great wellness. Now you have our permission to go over and check them out at www.waterdistillers.com because we have a trip to take.
Yes.
And we are heading out and we're packing our little kit to go with us, and we're going to be all ready to go for a natural travel.
Let's go.
All right. And we'll see you next time on Hunt for Wellness.